What up, yo?
What up?
Salutations, motherfuckers. Tis
Hi,
I,
everybody.
Liddy Bro Flacko. My co-host right here, the homie Holden Stefan Roy. Holden, say hi, Holden.
Hi, Holden.
Word up. And we are the perspectives. I don't know. We are we still saying it's a pod? I don't like the pod part. Perspectives. This is our
We
show.
just we just we
Perspectives.
just do perspectives. That's what it is.
Perspectives. My fault. I've been gone for like a couple weeks. I've been
That's true.
out in the world, just letting all my responsibilities fall by the wayside. Today we have a special guest, Staten Island battle rap legend, Team Hami General, uh, Polo aficionado, and general all around on time responsible human being with us. Peace God. Peace God.
Peace, God. Peace, God. Yo, what's up, everybody? Yo, thank you for having me. Yo, Dub, man. Always, baby. We here.
Word. Big facts. Shouts out to EO Dub, the platform that we are presently on EO Zoom. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the end of the week. Family. Always been family for a very long time. I guess that's what family, technically speaking, is. Anyway, yo,
Isn't it
peace,
though?
God. Welcome, yo. It's so good to have you, bro. Uh, the way we usually start out the show, right? Like I explain to people because like a majority of y'all are all like guests that are like friends of mine. So like I'm doing this show and I'm doing it with this guy over here to my left. Say hi, Holden.
Hi, Holden.
Right? And most people are like, who the fuck is this guy? The ones that know me, you know what I'm saying? They're like, who the fuck is this guy? So like I like to walk through like where like the origin story and shit, you know what I'm saying? And how the show came about and whatnot. And so like when I started doing the Liddy Bros project with bro Jess, right? Um with Liddy Bro Figaro, we were looking into getting out of our box of like people that we, you know, Jess is an engineer. So he could have engineered the whole project himself, you know what I mean? But I was like, bro, I want you to focus on being a rapper. Fuck like being an engineer. And like I hit up the homie Merker Miyagi on Facebook and other social medias, but really Merker Studios, right? And like I had met him when I was in Montreal. And well, I had met him before then. But then when I went to Montreal, we linked up. You know what I mean? You know how we always get down. We knock on people's doors. You know what I'm saying? So I linked up with the homie and I heard some of his work, and I was like, yo, he got a good ear. Let's have him engineer the project. So he engineers the project, and he might as well be a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? Because like he doesn't ever promote the artists that he like engineers because he's like, nah, fam, you trash. And if I promote one of y'all, then I gotta promote all y'all. You know what I'm saying? So he never promotes the shit that he like works on, but he promoted our shit, and that caught Holden over here's attention, right? And so Holden's like, hold on, I follow this guy, and he doesn't ever promote any of the shit that he works on. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's like promoting these guys, and he's promoting them like favorably. He's like, yo, Viral's in New York, like I want to get Liddy with the Liddy Bros type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? So that makes
Right.
Holden be like, who's this guy? So he looks into me, you know what I mean? And then he checks out the shit and he's doing album reviews and shit besides making music of his own. And so he was like, yo, want to do an album? No, he does an album review. Then he's like, I'm like, yo, we should do an interview. And he was like, funny you should mention that. I was going to ask you, we should do an interview. And then I did the interview, bro. And I swear to God, I felt like I went to fucking therapy because I fucking talked about a bunch of shit on camera that like I've never talked about, like, which is just like my life growing up, which is like so weird that we're like artists and we never talk about shit like that. It's always like the latest event that we did, maybe, or like the last battle we had, or like the battle we're gonna have. But it's never like about you and your life and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like
Sure.
immediately, typical New Yorker that I fucking am, right? Like I'm like, hey, I just stumbled upon a dope thing. I'm gonna fucking like put everybody else that I know onto this dope thing. So I was like, yo, you know what? We should do a show together. And I'm gonna introduce you to my friends and you can talk to them, you know what I mean? And ask them about their lives. And then I find out about my friends, things about my friends that I didn't ever know because we don't ever talk about our fucking personal lives with each other. We're just always like, like gangs or some shit. Like we just talk about like surface level shit. How's the family doing? How, you know what I mean? Like which is just like, it's not surface level to us. It's what really matters to us, right? But it's also like, hey, but what about your past, bro? But also, like, I think that with us, the way that we come up, like, that almost feels like narc shit. So that's why we don't ever talk about shit like that. We don't ever, like, be inquiring and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
but this is a great, fantastic way to, like
Flacko said, I'm saying, like, 18 times in that little segment.
18
and
times.
While I do know what he's saying, most often when y'all drop that I'm saying, I'm like, no, sir. I do not know what you are saying. I'm from Montreal. It does not make any sense to me what you just said.
Shouts to Montreal. Shouts to Just James.
Shouts to Montreal. Shouts
to
Figaro.
I love that dude, bro.
Love him. Come
on.
I'm
saying? He's one of my day ones in this. You know what I'm saying? Where I, come into the whole EO dub, you know what I'm saying, grind time, era, the late 2000s, you know what I'm saying, when, when I met all of y'all around the same time, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And Just James is one of those guys that, you know what I mean, that, embraced me into the whole fold. So,
yeah. Pretty
that.
funny and ironic that me and my brother are the like two of the people that like initially just, you know what I mean, take to very well. Yeah, we'll talk about that more. But so that is where the show came from, you know what I mean? And so like Holden likes to have his question. He knows what he's gonna ask you, right? But I've like figured out that something that we should talk about before we get to all that, after I do that long-winded intro, right? Is that you should tell the people like who you are, what you're known as, and where are you from, and then where are your parents from?
All right. So, okay. You want to do it in bullet points, or you? Nah.
Yeah. Actually,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? My name is Peace God. I'm from Staten Island, New York. You know what I'm saying? Mariners Harbor, New Brighton. You know what I'm saying? Those be my projects. My old battle rap name was Scream, SCREEM. You know what I'm saying? Ton of footage up on YouTube. Grind Time Now, I Battle, Face Off Battle League, the Draft League, of course. You know what I'm saying? The Mighty Draft League. Disconnect this phone. I ain't taking no calls. It's all about y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? Staten Island, New York. I started battling on YouTube. 2008. I'd done, around the hood battles, going back.
We're gonna go through. So we're gonna go through all of that. What's really important is that y'all start off in Staten Island, and that's where
Staten Island. So I'm half Puerto Rican. So I'm half Puerto Rican. Half Puerto Rican, half black. You know what I'm saying? My father's black, my mom's Puerto Rican.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I've been around. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty solid. You know what I'm saying, in my streets. Staten Island. I'm not, gonna, pat myself on the back too hard, but I got a lot of friends, man. I made a lot of connections out there. I'm proud.
I think that's what we told the people about being like Staten Island legend. You know what I mean? Like the people we did that for you. So
legend right there.
Start.
All right, so I got my like token opening question. It's a bit of a story. It's important, the Staten Island part, because otherwise it has no frame of reference. And just keep in mind when you answer it that everybody around the world might hear your answer, so we don't know what it's like to grow up in Staten Island. But it starts with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes one time, and she's got her phone playing, and it's that Black Eyed Peas song, I got a feeling, ooh. She's vibing, and she's dancing, and she's doing her thing, right? And I'm looking at her while she's doing this, and I'm going, when the fuck did this song become chores music, right? Because, like, this song used to be, like, back in the daytimes, that club banger, you'd be out in the middle of the night, super drunk, you came on, everybody's turning up. 10 years or so goes by, and now this is a song that we put on, maybe it's in traffic, maybe we do an exercise, maybe it's chores, but it's a song almost to bring us back to these times in life, because as the time has gone on, the song hasn't changed at all, but the context that surrounds the songs has evolved so much that we have put it into this new category as we have entered all these different ventures due to age, which got me thinking about the little 20-year-olds and how they turning up to all this stuff. Now, I have no idea that this is going to be their chores music. And they also have no idea that what they're listening to is our chores music right now. Like, people are turning up to whatever the fuck they're listening to while washing dishes. And that's a wild thought to me. And the reason I think about that is because music has this like evolutionary component as our lives like change, and it kind of moves with us. And like Flacko touched on a bit earlier, when we think about our own musical journeys and the way that we approach our careers and stuff, so often it starts in this like adolescent era. Like, yo, my first favorite rapper was this, or I started writing at this age, and it's usually like 12. And it's like all this kind of stuff like that. But, and all the interviews reinforce that. But if you really think about life, right? There's a good chance that you were born in a hospital or some shit, and there was music playing in the room, and already you were absorbing some vibes and whatnot. And as we were little, there's so much that impacts us. Like, I can remember being like 5 years old, right? And they got these gray boxes in the apartment. My daddy's got the tape decks, the amps, the fucking radio thing, the fucking wires going to all these different speakers and shit. And he would be busting his Led Zeppelin tapes and shit during the daytimes. At night, we had that club music straight from the clubs of Montreal bumping through over the radios. My mom, she was more into discos and musicals and love songs and all that kind of crap. But either way, all of this was going on. I'm like 5, 8 years old. All this shit. I have no control over the music, but I'm still listening to all the music. It's still influencing me. It's still impacting me. And then my whole thing picks on. So with all that, I was hoping you could bring us back to the youngest Peace God that you could remember being, and tell us a little bit about what it sounded like to be you, the vibes and the energies of the youngest ages you can remember.
Well, all right. Well, the first rap song I probably fell in love with is probably gonna be "I'm Bad" by LL Cool J. And you heard, you know what I'm saying? There was other rap, like rap wasn't, there was no form to it. Back then was this 86, 87. You got a couple of rap songs. Hip hop was not on the radio until after 9 o'clock.
Right.
I think everything else is, pretty much R&B, slow jams. And I don't think people do a lot of slow jams no more. But, it was a lot of R&B, 98.7, 107.5, R&B, disco shit, which was before that. Then, hip hop gets on the scene, and, that's young people's music at the time. So naturally, we all, kind of gravitated to that. But the memorable song I fell in love with was "I'm Bad" by LL Cool J. I'll put Lottie Dottie as a close second though.
And like, how old are you when you discovered this?
I was probably about 8 years old. I was in second grade.
What about your parents? What were they playing in the house?
So like, if you run it back, like before you discovered that.
My father was like a lot of he liked a lot of R&B. I think they both enjoyed a lot of R&B. Your Tina Marie's. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of soul and
R&B
a lot of music, like a lot of old soul and
For
R&B music. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not mad. Like my parents did a lot of like Latin music, but then when we were in the car, it was always like, the stations that played those joints, like Pat Benatar's and the fucking and the like Melissa Morgan's and the like, just that R&B station. I think it was WBLS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Phyllis Hyman. You know what I'm saying? Roberta Flack. You know what I'm saying? Gerald Pepsi Riley's, and you know what I mean? You had Gerald a lot Pepsi
Riley, yeah.
Next thing you know, they're mixing it up with the hip hop generation. Now you got your Full Forces and your Lisa, you know what I'm saying, and Cult Jam and Samantha Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like
Lisa and Cult Jam. Now you do look at the sis Danny over there, like she's like, yeah, Lisa and the Cult Jam. I feel like all women that grew up in New York City fucking loved Lisa and the Cult Jam, by the way.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever heard that name one time in my life.
You should
look them up
because they got hits. Like they got like They got some like real hits of the era and shit.
Sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure you heard of Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Like,
Yes.
you know, this is, you know, they were blossoming back around that time too. You know,
Yes.
I think that's more of like a polish, a universal. It's the same love, right? You know, on an urban level is Lisa and the Cult Jam, but you know, America-wise, the whole Latino community, I guess, would kind of draw themselves to a Gloria Estefan.
Gloria Estefan, yeah. But like for specifically the New York community, the like Lisa was kind of like she was the Gloria Estefan, I guess is what Peace God is saying. She's like the Gloria Estefan of like New York City, and like definitely women love Lisa and the Cult Jam.
That would blossom into a Brenda K. Starr or a Lizette Millette. Now you're working into your 90s and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's basically it. Like there was not a lot of variety. There was not a lot of hip hop variety.
I mean, it's not even just hip hop, right? Because like at the end of the day, it's still your life and your story and the stuff that you experienced, right? And a lot of times, like most people, okay, now younger people grow up with hip hop from the time, but like most people I talk to above, let's say the age of 28, did not have hip hop until they were older, right? It wasn't normal to have like hip hop, especially if you're a kid, because parents were cognizant of the lyrical content.
For
so
sure.
It's like, when you were young though, were you into like singing, dancing, you know, drawing, that kind of stuff? Like, did you have any hobbies or anything like that?
Nah, I was more into sports when I was little. I was able to, you know, just kind of keep up with dancing, you know, as far as what the trends were. You know, you know, all of your WAPs and, you know what I'm saying, the Roger Rabbits and all that, you know, madness. But when it was time to kind of like, you know, I'm not a merengue guy, but I'm a bachata guy. And it's not, you know, that's not music that I grew up on. I just kind of learned how to, you know, dance because I think it was a necessity. It was just, it was easy to pick up on because all of the older folks were able to do it. Break dancing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking about fundamental break dancing. I'm not doing, you know, windmills and, you know, spins on my head, but pop locking and you know what I'm saying? Your basic scrambles and all of that stuff. I can do that for sure.
That's wild. And that, because you're growing up at a point when that would have been more like in the streets happening, quite literally, right?
Yeah.
So, what's that like?
In the streets, what, with dancing?
Like when you're growing up in this whole vibe of hip hop, right? And not everyone, and especially with the time frame that you're describing, that's like super inception points back when the way it's been described to me, it was just the thing you did. And that's wild to me.
I'll tell you this, you know what I'm saying? In the early 80s, you got people outside. You know what I'm saying? Outside. Everybody in the hood is chilling. People know each other. I'll tell your father means something to you. Yeah. Like, you know, but when 84 hit, crack hit. And it's just a 180 on how you know what I'm saying, how the streets were. Everything just became dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
How educated you are that you know angles.
I don't mean to sound cliche when I say it, but 180, I messed the angle up. No, but
no. I appreciate that you do, that you're educated and you do know angles. Usually people say I did a 360 and it's like you meant a 180, not a 360, sir.
Yeah.
A 360 would have landed you right back where you started.
At the beginning.
Exactly. But yeah, you know what I'm
it.
saying? You know, 83, everybody's outside, or, you know, all of the things that I had mentioned before. Once 84 comes around and, you know, crack hits the community, it just gets dark. You know what I'm saying? You know, you only associate with your friends when you're in school. You're not outside like that, you know, and my parents just try to kind of keep me in the sports to, you know, just kind of stay ahead of the curve and, you know, be able to manage who my friends were and, you know, just kind of keep an eye on things.
What sports?
I'm a baseball, soccer.
Ooh, you played baseball too. is lit.
Yep, I play base. Yep, absolutely. Second base catcher, a little bit of that, but mostly second base catcher.
I played fucking right field. You could play. That means that you were righty. You caught with your right, like uh or you caught with your left. You threw with your right, which most people do. And because I was a lefty and threw with my left and caught with my right, I would always like there would only be one glove. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, I wanted to play first base so bad, but you know, the teams that I were on preferred lefties. You know what I'm saying? Because able to field, you know what I'm saying? They're able to field that area better and then still have the mobility to get back to first base and make the play at first. So, you know, that I really haven't kept up on that's something that they do now or if it's something that they've managed around. But I wanted first base. And, so you know, for like 3 years, I tried to get it, couldn't get it. They, you know, put lefties on there. And it's not just one guy who was good at first base. They tried to, you know what I mean? They managed keeping lefties on first base.
Fact.
What are you going to do, right?
What you going to do? So baseball, you said some soccer.
Soccer. Basketball. For sure. And my father was my coach until I was about, 10 years old. And you know, then I would move up and he would just stay with the 10 and under league and, you know, manage my brother and my sister or what have you. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those are the three sports, you know, that I played. So around 88, I would then move to South Jersey over by Philly, a suburb called Willingboro. You know, and I would live there until about 92. And look, now you take 88 to 92. So the music now, you know, things are changing. You got video music box. People are getting cable TV. So now you're able to just kind of dip into
MTV exists.
MTV, VH1, when VH1 played music, right? But now you're having a little bit more variety. Hip hop is on the radio in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? So now all of us, you know, around our age group, we are in hip hop at ground level, more or less, right? It's not just something that was a party before and now you got to go back to R&B. You know, our generation of hip hop was more ground level, you know what I'm saying? And we watched them kind of grow into what it's going to become. You know, so from 88 to 92, still with the sports, all of that stuff. But, you know, my parents are still working in New York and, you know, to pay for the house they bought in Jersey. So I got no supervision down there, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of left to figure it out on my own. And I just gotten into all types of fucking, you know, craziness, man. You know what I'm saying? As far as school goes, as far as messing around with girls, as far as, you know, doing little crimes and shit like that, you know, is bad. Not being supervised.
You started to be a typical young guy in New York City.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean?
Like,
yeah,
that's what happens at that age for all of us.
Yeah. Pretty much, man.
No, I mean, I would say for a lot of people, yeah, it's definitely what happens. I don't know. I didn't happen. No, I mean, I got into trouble. Different degrees. Yeah, even small crimes. Nah, shoplifting was a real thing. Now that I think, everybody. I think everybody does it.
Yeah, everybody does it when they reach that age. You know, you're a young man. You know what I mean? You start fucking feeling yourself a little bit. Start testing the limits of all sorts of things. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of typical. You know,
and still relying on the fact that you're still a minor. Nobody can really, like, you know, put hands on you like that. And, you know, people don't want the headache. You know what I'm saying? You know, give me my shit back and, you know, get the fuck up out of here. That's pretty much it.
But, you know, that's what happens in life. And then we get older. But yeah, so like during this phase, like I know you said you started to get into hip hop when you're like 8. or around that point. So do you at that as also desire to start like writing or anything like that, or is it just like as a fan of it all?
Nah, not really. No, not at that time. No, I did come up with like a little moniker. You know what I'm saying? I used my my first and my last name. So my very first rap name, I guess you could get, it would have been Double UV. You know what I'm saying? My name is William Vasquez. So you know what I'm saying? And all the names that with an E double.
I'm like WV.
Yeah, with VEE spelled out. VEE. But you had like, you know, so those are the rap names back then. You know, you had E double, you know what I'm saying? You know,
there were a lot of
you
doubles.
know what I mean? You know what it was now.
Before I like was given Dutch, I was trying like, and I was like drawing and like, you know, you'd put clothes on like your character at the end of a piece and whatnot. And I was always the guy that had like character at the end of his piece. And like the clothing line was like double R because my name is Ronaldo Rivera. So it's just double R. It's back then the doubles were super huge.
Right.
Everybody was double. If you had a reason for your double, I like the double UV.
I like that. That's nice.
Double entendres.
Okay, so that's good. So basically, yeah. So you're into the sports for a while. At what point do you like start to develop more of an interest in, I guess, not sports?
All right. Well, but when I came back to New York in 1992, you know what I'm saying? You know, my parents, you know, they were divorcing. My father got locked up. You know what I'm saying? You know, he would, you know, go away to prison and stuff like that. So now my mom's a single mom. You know, I'm pretty mad and bitter. You know, I'm going into 8th grade. I got to come back in the 8th grade to you know what I'm saying, to a school with, you know, minimal friends from my old neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But enough to just kind of keep me like, all right, we know who he is, you good. What I would then start doing is, you know what I'm saying, shoplifting from stores and shit like that. Or, you know, taking people's hats or, you know, simple shit, JanSport strings. Yo, I remember
I was about to say, I bet you both those other things before you said JanSport strings was all polo. Shoplifting polo from stores.
Not yet.
Snatching polo hats off of people's heads.
Not yet. It was Macy's in Kings Plaza Mall. I came out with 2 pairs of Levi silver tabs.
Like that's silver like tabs was huge, like, my guy.
That was the first real shit that I really, you know what I'm saying, I hustle out of a store, bro. Our clothes are all oversized. So what I did, I just kind of wrapped them around my waist, but have like the, you know, the part where the buckles and where you fasten in the back.
Now you're teaching the young next generation how to boost propers.
I'm not trying, man. I'm not trying to do that. But that's what I did. You know, that, and you know, from there, you know, it would just be, you know, trying to compete, you know, with your peers and stuff. That's
very typical for our environment as well.
Right. Trying to have shit, but have it first. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you got silver tab.
Yo, this is wild.
You had it first.
So it's a culture. So it's a culture of essentially waxing new fashion the fastest.
Having new music first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everything is first in New York City. Like in New York City, you gotta be the first one. And it's not really like back then we don't have no internet. So like really technically speaking, you're not really the first. You're just the first in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods, in your group of friends. You're just the first in that, you know? But like really there's already clearly other people in other places doing the same thing, which is why these things even exist like that, right? Like they're being successful products. And like they're like, okay, now we got to put Levi silver tabs everywhere. You know, it probably starts in the Macy's in Herald Square, which is their flagship store, And the next thing you know, they're like, oh, these are being really successful. We should probably dole it out to the Macy's in Kings Plaza, the Macy's in Parkchester in the Bronx, and and so on, and so like people in these neighborhoods.
Yeah, as you're saying all that, I wonder if these companies were like, there's probably some good money to be made in letting these kids steal this shit.
Absolutely.
Because like that sounds like it ends up selling a lot more jeans down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say this, like, you know what I'm saying? Music was big. I would go on crusades to just try to get shit first around like 94, 95, right? You know, now hip hop is hip hop. It's prevalent, right? I'd go on crusades to get mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about the subway. I hopped on the ferry in Staten Island. I got off Manhattan and I hopped on the M15 and took that shit all the way up to 125th.
The M15, for people who are not from New York City, the buses are like, in front of them, they have letters to describe the borough that they are. So if he would have been jumping on a bus in the Bronx, it'd be like BX12 or BX14 or BX some X, Y, and Z. If he caught a bus in Brooklyn, it'd just be the B such and such. If he caught one in Queens, it'd be the QU or the Q. No, it's just the Q for the buses. So it'd be like the Q114 or some shit like that. And like in Manhattan, it'd be the M for Manhattan, whatever number. So him saying the M, what was it that you grabbed?
I took the M15.
M15. The M15 immediately lets me know, like, okay, you were like riding into Manhattan all the way from Staten Island just to like find exclusive new shit, which is very like that's rare. Rarely back in the days do like people leave their boroughs. Like people kind of like have everything that they need, especially back in like the 80s and the 90s, in their borough, and like they don't go into Manhattan unless it's like for like, you know, work purposes or like family, but like rarely do you find young people that were like, oh, I was going on missions just to get music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an elite crowd.
Yo, so check this out. I get on that, you know, I take it all the way to 125th from the ferry. Shit took like 2.5 hours, bro. And then I hop on the BX. I think it was the BX 45 or something like that. And you take it into 3rd Avenue and 149th.
Mm-hmm. That's
you know what
I'm
saying? And then from there, then, you know, you got all of the shops. So now at the same time, I'm on a crusade for music. I'm finding, oh shit, there's a Dr. J's or a VIM, or there's this shop. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I gotta come back up here to get more shit. Staten Island, like you said, where people don't really venture out of their borough to get stuff, people go to the barbershop and get the same same.
Everybody's got the same shit. Yeah, everybody's got the same shit. Yeah.
And those guys would travel out to other boroughs. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I've tried to be ahead of the curve all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, I could go. You mean I could get a North Face up here, or I could get my my Columbia suit up here for cheaper? Like you do that. That we be on those days. So it's just kind of all.
Which, by the way, I don't think that like actually like that is a super classic New York City right mentality of like, if I can get it cheaper. But like when you think about the time that you put in, you know, to like going to get it, and time is money, technically speaking, it's like, was it cheaper in fact? You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, yes, because it was cheaper, it was a worthwhile time spent, and I discounted my time, sir. So
yep. So after like doing that for 3 times, like, you know, I decided to read a subway map and learn the subway. Man, I'm back on the 5 train. I'm back down by freaking City Hall in Bowling Green in like 30 minutes, man. I'm cutting my trip.
I was gonna say, when you were talking that initial story, I was just like, the horror. Like, oh my God, why are you taking buses all through Manhattan? Manhattan's so long. like with like the blocks. It's like you could have jumped on the train and saved yourself like at least a half hour, you know.
I didn't know.
But yeah, you're saying, you're giving me the play by play to the point where you're like, this is like, but this is very back in the days, New York centric, right? Where like you learned a bus, like we learned mapping. Like I was just thinking the other day, like looking at the GPS and no, actually, instead of looking at the GPS, looking at the road in New Jersey and like the signage for like jumping on the interstate. And I'm just like, man, what happened to like before GPS? And like when we had to like travel long distances with no real directions, you had to read like the signs on the road and you had to be like knowledgeable of how all signs work so that you knew where you were going. Like
you had to use that.
We don't even care about that no more. It's like nobody cares. It's like GPS, bitch.
Yep, yo, you used to have to go into either the gas station or you know what I'm saying, or whatever convenient, like a stationary store, and buy an atlas or a road map.
I was gonna say an atlas, and there was one that it was like McKinley. Brad McNally.
I got you, baby. I got you.
Brad McNally. Yo,
Brad McNally, and
I got
and the
it all
other one was
out. Brad McNally. Know what I mean?
And the other one was Hagstrom. Those were the two main atlases, Rand McNally and Hagstrom. Why do I know that?
Because it mattered.
Practical. I remember with the grids, and you had to like use quadrants to find like the locations for particular places, and then try to figure out where the fuck you were on the map, and then have to chart your own course. You were the Google Maps. Wow.
Yo, my first job ever was in the New York Public Library. So like that's a fact. It was my after school job. By then I was having a kid. I had my oldest son who turns 27 tomorrow, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday.
Facts.
He watches this.
You know, he's coming with me to my battles and all of that, bro. But yo, by then, you know what I'm saying? By then, you know, that was my first job. So like, you know, learning, you know, geography and stuff like that, you know, I got pretty savvy with it. And, you know, it just learned me how to get around to the city to get stuff. So, you know, you're up there looking for, you know, clothes, apparel, and you're up there looking for hip hop. And those were the two things that kind of took me out of my borough just to kind of remain exclusive. You learn where other things are. I then learned where downtown Brooklyn was. I then learned how to get to the Coliseum and got my gold fronts and a Mecca hoodie. You know what I'm saying? You would learn how to get, you know what I'm saying, to certain places just to kind of stay above the curve for everybody.
It's crazy.
No, but even just to think about what you're saying, but even just to think about what you're describing, right? Like this a whole vibe where I don't think anybody's really walked down it like the way you're describing it, because I don't know that I talked to that many people from Staten Island before. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
So, the whole like having to travel out of it, but it makes me just kind of picture like life. Like even with the movie theaters back in the day, like the famous players would have different movies than the next dudes. And you would have to like pick the fucking movie theater that had the movie you wanted to see. Now everything's kind of mixed up together, so it's more convenient and shit. So it's like, it's nifty just that you like don't know your own city in a sense, because you have no reason to, and except for in your case you'd explored it and are like, bro, I'm starting to chart New York City and shit like it's Pokemon Go. I'm like, that's fucking wild. Like that's cool to me.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it is. It's super cool. New York City is. That's, I think, what it is that like makes so many people from New York City that are born and raised here be able to kind of be ahead of the curve and like forward thinking with a lot of things, because like there's so much opportunity for you to get out of your environment. You know, like we grow up being able to go downtown and see all these buildings, like, and all these lights and all this shit that's just like, it's second nature to us. Like it's nothing. Like I was showing some people the town yesterday and they're like looking at the lights in Times Square like, wow. And they're like, damn, fool, you don't even care about this shit, do you? I'm like, nah, bro, not at all. I'm like, bro, like seen these goddamn lights so many times. Every time you motherfuckers are astounded at them. I'm like, I'm trying to get paid for putting up the fucking actual like LED screens and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm thinking about. You're looking at the lights. I'm like thinking about how to get paid off of like putting up the lights. You know, like, but like, you know, it really does create opportunity for you to get out of your circle. You know what I mean? And like that's exactly what Scream's talking about. Like my fault, peace God. Is talking about is like he's talking about like growing up and being like so desiring that spot of like, nah, I had this first and everybody knows it, you know?
And
That he like
yeah.
he was out this bitch like discovering the whole city, probably like wild young, getting on the train, like where it's just like, where is your parents at, young man? You know what I'm saying? Like doing whatever the fuck he had to so he could get the flyest fit and have the newest music, which is like all that mattered in New York City back then. Like it didn't matter how smart you were, how like how much money you had, like how like none of that shit really mattered as much as like those two things right there.
So basically, if I were to re-paraphrase that, it's cool to be resourceful in New York City.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like that's kind of what it is. It's that like I can out resourcefulness you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's wildly cool. That is such a valuable asset. Like honestly,
Super
it's
valuable.
like a characteristic of like your city. I'm gonna go come up with ways to do impossible shit all the time. That's my like lust for life. That's fucking fresh. And so you're scooting around, basically decking yourself out with the nicest shit, mapping out New York City. And how does that like evolve next for you? Like at what point, I guess what comes after that phase of your life?
You know what? You know what I'm saying? You know, it definitely creates a lot of it gives you some visibility amongst your peers. You know what I'm saying? I think after a while, if you're the guy who's putting them on to a lot of things in terms of fashion or sharing your resources with them after these journeys that you take, I think that I think they value the sacrifice. Yeah, you know what I mean? I hope so.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what happens, right? Because like that's
sure.
why you become known, you know? Like you become known because you're that guy that has the connect or, knows about the new shit, And people are like, yo, I need to know the guy that knows.
Yeah, or who sings this? Or you know what I'm saying? Or when this drop?
So you're basically Wikipedia and Google before Wikipedia and Google.
You had to be, bro. Yeah. You had to memorize 40 telephone numbers. You know what I'm saying? You could.
I do know about that. I do know about that.
You couldn't rehearse how you socialize with people. It's either live. You know what I'm saying? It's live. There's no, I'm gonna send this girl this. I'm gonna say this little slick remark to this girl. Or I'm a DM. None of that. It's all live and direct.
Yeah,
it was. We got spoiled with call waiting.
Yeah, if you weren't quick with it and quick witted, it was not a good look for you. New York City is too fast and people talk fast, and if you don't know how to like just be able to get your shit off and maneuver, you're gonna get chewed up,
Right. Or the game's gonna pass you by.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of had to, memorize a lot of stuff and shit, write stuff down. You know what I mean? We actually had to do that.
Right down. I used to carry a little piece of paper with a bunch of phone numbers in it.
Yeah, for sure. Call it the Chictionary. I think Will Smith. I think that was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air thing. You know what I'm saying? He had that down the Chictionary. It always stuck with me.
That's amazing.
Like, Rolodexes.
That sounds like a terrible thing to get caught with if you don't want somebody to find that.
Bro, you don't know the half, man. My kid's mother found phone numbers in odd places, bro. Like the inside, the sweatband of your hat. Like she caught me up one time, bro.
What the fuck?
Yo, when I did start having,
out of curiosity, was your baby mom's like Latin or some sort? Like, was she like? Yeah, she was
from the
Latina.
Bronx.
Yeah,
From the
let me
Bronx.
tell you something. Latin women are fucking detectives, fam. They will find out. You could be the most saintly man, faithful saintly man, and they still don't trust you, and they're still gonna find something somewhere.
Find it. They're gonna find it. You know,
they're gonna find it.
And look, man, you know, I'm a young man. I'm already a dad by 16 years old. You know, and I was active and very. Come on, man. Sorry about that.
No worries at all.
You're good.
All right, we back. And you know, I'm active. I'm visible. Like girls are supposed to like me. I wish I can articulate this then, but I didn't know how. You know what I mean? She catch me. She catch me. Fuck it.
That's amazing. So you're going through all of that. So I guess like what happens after the high school era, and do you start rapping? Do you like at some point pick that up?
I did little, you know what I'm saying? I did little, you know, schoolyard battles and lunchroom battles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a young man, you may have heard of him. His name is Shaheen. You know, he's a year older than me. But, you know, we happen to, you know, be from the same neighborhood. And, you know, this kid, he kicked my ass once. He smoked me. I was just rapping for the ladies and trying to be cute. This kid was already that guy by 8th grade.
He was ready. He was
already like, you know, spitting, deep but comprehensible. You know what I'm saying? You know, relatable to, like, he had it. He was that guy, and he would just go through Staten Island, whooping a lot of people's asses, bro. Another person you might have heard of from Killer Army. His name is Killer Sin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God! What? I was just telling somebody. That like Killer Sin is like the only non-Wu-Tang member of Wu-Tang, like non-member of the actual group, right?
Yeah.
But like member of the overall clan and shit that like I really felt strongly should have like deserved a spot in the main group of Wu-Tang. Like his flow was so wet and so like just like flawless that it was like, yo, he would have been like another like him and Inspector Deck and Method Man would have been just like karate chopping all sorts of fire flows over them fucking RZA beats.
Yo, but here's the funny thing about Killer Sin. You know what I'm saying? He was not, you know what I'm saying? He was not a social guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can write, very creative guy, but he was not he was, you know what I'm saying, big, tall, hulking dude, you know what I'm saying? Great dude, but if he fuck with you, he fuck with you. If not, he would just kind of put that energy like, don't even approach me, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, great guy nonetheless. So Shaheen, Killer Sin, Don Pacino, also from Killer Army. You know what I'm saying? Like, you battled
them?
No, I didn't battle him. I battled Shaheen. You know what I'm saying? And Shaheen hooked me. By the time we're already in high school, you know what I'm saying, Wu-Tang is on. Yeah. So, not being a big community, Staten Island, like, some of the, the Killer Army guys already have family ties to these members. You know what I'm saying? To the members of Wu-Tang. Yeah. I didn't have none of that, or I have you. And, I'm always, working and, doing my own thing. So I just didn't really flock to those circles. And, I did my little, raps in high school and stuff like that, and just kind of kept it moving. It would be later on, which I'm pretty sure we'll get into. That's when I kind of got back into hip hop.
That's fair.
Other than that, for years, I would just be a fan and just keep up. You know what I mean? And just keep up. And, I would go down the rabbit hole of hip hops. You go from B Street and you get all of your Notorious B.I.G.'s, your Junior Mafias, or your Cannabis freestyles. You get all of those first. But in those
Street is a store, not the movie.
Right. In those bags in the bags of your Beat Streets and your 3rd and 149s, all the places you would get mixtapes and mix CDs, they be dropping flyers. And I never really paid attention to those flyers. And those would be where all of your hip hop competitions, your battling competitions would be happening. And then I'd just be, I'm in it for the music at the time. But one day I start reading the flyers, and there's this place up named Fat Beats. It's on West 4th. You know what I'm saying? It's on West 4th, 6th Avenue.
I don't know. When you list New York places, I'm like,
it's in downtown Manhattan. Way easier for me to get to. You know what I'm saying? Way easier for me to get to rather than having to go all the way to the Bronx.
Yeah, downtown Manhattan is close to the Staten Island. The Bronx is like the northernmost borough in New York City.
Right.
And Staten Island, besides being a ferry ride away, is also kind of like the southernmost point of the city.
Correct. Yeah. So, I hope I'm not skipping ahead. I'm just,
Nah, right. You're doing your thing. It's great.
Yeah.
But then I would go to Fat Beats, and then now it's not more. It's you still have commercial industry music available to you, but now it's more focused on your underground and your up and comers. You know what I'm saying, and how they're able to put their music out.
So you get to be involved in, or at least visiting the stores that ultimately are hosting a bunch of shit that goes on to be glorified later on through the annals of YouTube.
All of this stuff was happening right under my nose, man. A lot of this stuff was happening right under my nose. I'd get bits and pieces here, of it, and but yeah, man, I could have been at so much legendary stuff if I just applied the effort at the time.
Yeah, but life has us focused on whatever life has us focused on at those times. I'm not sure where you were. I don't know what happened in that part of life. What were you up to during those phases?
I'm working.
You heard him. He said he was already he was a father. He was a father by 16. So that means he had to support a child, grow up real fast. When you either grow up real fast or you don't, like that's how it goes.
What compounded that is that by the time my son was 2 years old, his mother's mother died. So, I kind of had to take down, excuse me, I'll be right with you. Buddy. So, yeah, that all compounded. And, you know what I mean? It just kind of, it made me grow up even quicker.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was just nothing but work, home life there. And then, I would just get my joys in. Being able to work, I'm able to support a family, and I'm able to still support my fashion habits. You know what I'm saying? And all of that stuff, and, get music where I wanted to get it. But, that was pretty much it for a lot of years, man, just kind of on that carousel.
And then, so what ends up getting you to like break off the carousel and get back into it?
What got me back into music? I was, it would be then around once I met, Pumpkinhead. You know what I'm saying? I met him through. Yeah, rest in peace, Pumpkinhead.
Well, I left the paper on the desk.
I'm sorry about that, guy.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, probably around 2007, I'm dating, the woman who is my wife now. And we're getting to know each other, and we're just going through all the formalities of dating and stuff like that. So, it comes up in question. What kind of music do you listen to? And I'm like, oh, well, I like a lot of R&B. I like hip hop, but, I like a lot of underground hip hop. Like, I don't like this, the Hot 97 bullshit. Yeah. And she was like, okay, well, who do you listen to? I'm like, well, I don't know if you're going to know him, but all right. So I start naming people. Brooklyn Academy comes up in that discussion. And in the middle of that discussion, she says, hold on. And she hops on the phone. And I'm like, all right, well, that's rude. And and she's like, hi, hey, Rob, somebody wants to talk to you. And she turns the phone and the phone says Pumpkinhead going across it. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So it's like one of the guys that I love his music. You know what I'm saying? Like, these musicians help me get through life. You know what I mean? And she got him on, like, I was so impressed. You know what I'm saying? I was so impressed. So, me and him, chop it up briefly. He invites, both of us out to a battle rap competition, in Brooklyn. And I come down there, and I'm blown away. Guess who's the first battle rap? Guess what was the first rap battle I saw at that time? Holden Roy. I'll let you guess.
I gotta guess. Pumpkinhead battled. I don't know. I have no idea.
Dutch Vega versus AKA.
Yeah. Yo, I destroyed that kid. He never came back to the league after that.
Never came back. But that was. So I had gotten. He said, yeah, go to YouTube and look this up. So I watched some of the battles and I enjoyed them. So he invited us out. So I go to I go down. I think this was like in Williamsburg where you battle him. It was in a bar.
Yeah.
And that was
a barn.
A bar.
Okay, I heard.
And you know what I'm saying? And there goes Dutch Vega, saying first battle of the day versus AKA. He's all Yankeed out, Yankee everything.
Now, New York, baby. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the first, the live battle rap YouTube battle I ever watched live was him. And me and him vibed immediately.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? I congratulated him, and he did his victory lap around everybody, giving him his props and his dap and all of that stuff. And
I never thought about that. Now I'm picturing that.
It happened.
I mean, it depends, right? Like, there's some guys that are like kind of fucking weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll like leave right after, and they're like not sociable type of people. My fault for calling them weirdos. But like, I'm like a personable person. So like, I'm like, what? Yo, she saw me destroy this guy, talking to anybody. I mean,
that's what happened. So a couple of months go down the line and a couple of more events happen. And PH and I, we got, we become friends. Like, we're, what I'm saying? Like, we speak to each other often. He's a father as well. I'm a father. And, we kind of just, take it away from hip hop in a lot of our conversations. And we, kind of built that bond. We kind of built, we built that bond on, a man level. So another battle rap
peace to God, B.
Where another battle rap event happens, and the battle that made me decide to do it was Cobra Kai versus Newborn.
Versus who?
Cobra Kai versus Newborn.
And at that time, I'm watching this battle. I'm sitting there like, yo, he's nice. I'm referring to Newborn. This guy, not so much. I can do this. So, so then I quietly, I put my name in the hat. And it just so happens, Pumpkinhead was living on Staten Island at the time. He's in the YMCA. He gets approached by another local battle rap freestyle legend on Staten Island. His name is Vici. And, that's how they set up the match. So the beginning of 2009 is a Grind Time East Coast event in Brooklyn. What was it? Southpaw in Park Slope, Brooklyn. The name of the venue was Southpaw. That's when I had my welcome back or / first YouTube, I guess documented battle versus Vici. And I would, I would 3-0 him respectfully. Yo, shouts to Vici, bro. Shouts to Vici.
Yeah,
that's
I watched that battle. I like to go back to like the first ones that people do because it's super nifty to see it. But yeah, it's a good battle.
Yeah. And, and I had been, I've been in the community ever since.
Yo, that was like, who else battled that day? I think I battled. No, I might not have battled. Damn, it's just so many great memories back then.
D4 versus
like we'd be outside smoking together and just building camaraderie.
Yeah, C4 versus Just. Young Gaddis battled. I think she battled QB. Big Cannon versus Troy Brown. T Moneybags versus Lethal. And a couple other ones that I don't remember the main event for some reason.
Yo, but for real, that is an impeccably good memory.
Yeah.
I try. No, not really. I did.
Nah, I do that.
I mean, like, because like
we do this a bunch.
I barely remember anything else.
And like nobody remembers like 6 battles on the card and list all these names. Like, hold on, I can get one more out of this. People like, yeah, it was early on. I was drunk.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always like, after my battle, I'm drinking, so I'm forgetting everything.
And so, but that's cool that you. And so basically, you start running that like battle circuit, and you're participating in that whole thing. Are you also interested in music at that time, or is it like just battles?
Not yet. At that time, I'm still, I'm moving up in my professional life. So, making music was not a thing. Not a thing. I would just, want to do my little battles maybe 3 times, 4 times a year, and just kind of keep it, moving. Even battle rap was viewed different then. There was, the merit system was still wins and losses.
Yeah.
So if you win the battle, and it could be ugly, it could be an ugly win, but you're, after that, you put a W, you got a win in the win column, you graduate onto stronger competition. Also, if the public likes you or not, or not the public, but your league, your circle, trust you enough, and you earn that faith with them, then you get the privilege of going on the road with them. Places like Florida, or California, or Philly, Chicago, places where they were actually epicenters for battle rap. It's not what it is now, where you can do you can have a strong event in Sheboygan.
Yeah.
Or Asheville, North Carolina. And, shouts to Sheboygan, shouts to Asheville. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't that yet. So people from, those smaller communities, their dreams were to come to New York and battle, or go to the Bay and battle, or South Florida, Los Angeles, but you had to kind of just stack up those wins. You could be a crowd
super
favorite.
Nifty.
Yeah,
and
you
so
can be
the
a crowd
trend,
favorite, but if you're not winning, you may
the
or
judging.
may not get opportunities.
So then, really, that part at the end where the judges are doing their bit is like super important. Then, right? Like that has to be there in order to explain the. Because I'm like sitting there and it stops happening at a certain point. And for me, battle rap journey is like I get told you're talking to Iron Solomon, and I didn't know who he was at the time, and this was in like December. So since then, I've been a little more educated on battle
Yeah,
rap. Why it was
we
true.
when we got together, that's what I liked about Holden, was that he wasn't up on battle rap. You know what I
I
mean?
know.
Like, so it's just like yo, there's a whole new world out
Yeah,
here.
well, it's
You know
been
what I
like
mean?
that.
Like,
And then there was like that dense learning curve, and then you get past that learning curve, and you're like, oh, it is fun, and you really like get into the sport of it. And now I'm really at the part where I really like the people who shout shit out in the crowd. That's my favorite part. Is the that was fire. That's my favorite guy at every fucking event right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
Talk that fan shit.
That's it, guy. All that shit. It's almost like if the battle doesn't elicit that, it doesn't have the same energy to me. So like,
Right.
yeah.
but it's fun. Like because then you start thinking about more like wrestling, and you start to understand all the dynamics of it a little bit differently. And it was like with the context, it's amazing. But to think about it from the perspective of like, I know now it's more like the internet decides, let the comments figure it out type shit. So I understand that that's how it's become. But like back in the day, I'm watching him, and there's like this judge commentary at the end. That's often what it is, and you're not sure about why that matters and whatnot. And then I don't agree with a lot of the judging too, right? Like sometimes I'll be like, "What? Say a word." You really?
That's the
Because they're
problem.
like
That was always
they're
the
like
problem with
in the
judging.
moment, right? Doing judging off of some shit they just saw, and I'm sitting here all this time later watching the shit, being like, "Nah, you guys didn't catch any of this shit."
Yeah,
But like,
I mean, then it was a simpler time. The stakes weren't as high as they are now. Battlers, might see a purse. And I'm not trying to count nobody's money, but battlers might see a purse of $1,000 or $500, your hotel and your hotel and your flight. That would, I guess, be the baseline uh compensation then. It's not now where it's an excess of $5,000, $10,000 your air fare, your hotel, and comps, for your peoples. And with the judging, how that impacts, if people are out there losing battles who they think that they should have won, you know uh a battle rapper would be like, hey man, you're messing with my money, bro. You're messing with my money. You might cost me thousands of dollars down the line because of fill in the blank, whatever the critique on the judges is. You didn't judge that right, or you're viewing it through the wrong lens, or whatever their grievances might be.
right.
You know what I'm saying? These battle rappers are like, yo man, you're gonna fuck my money up, bro. Fuck out of here. So now a lot of people don't want to be judges, or judges are not in the building, so their safety ain't threatened. You know what I mean? They judging it from home. It's a safe space.
That's a wild thought, stills.
Fact.
Um, yeah, fair enough. So you're from the era of judging.
Yeah.
That's the important part, and that means wins matter. And does that mean like just okay? So if you're a battle rapper in this era, then are you like? Do you know who the judges are ahead of time?
Oftentimes they would be announced on the spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You look into the crowd, or you look at the attendance, and
I know as a
right, as a league owner, you just sit there and just be like, okay, this guy, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have he's a battler himself, or he's battled before. He has a vested interest in our movement, but not a vested interest on who wins this battle. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I select him, and so on and so forth with the rest of the judges.
We would have groups like people that we knew that were invested in like battle rap, but weren't necessarily um like favorable towards anybody, and they were more towards like they wanted to see the best battler win. And we'd be like, okay, if he's at the event, then okay, so Jay Smooth, who like does radio and like doesn't necessarily have a dog in any of these fights, you know, because he's really just a fan of the culture, is like Judge and like Abacus, who we know is at all these events and like, you know, cares about like battle rap in general, but isn't necessarily like favoritism towards anybody. But like we knew, you know, like there'd be like, oh, well, Abacus is hanging out with Team Hami a lot. I should probably not put him to judge like a Team Hami member's battle because like it'd be unfair, you know? So
it was very
That's
helpful. It was very helpful if there was a celebrity judge in the building. You know what I'm saying? Because that person, you for sure don't have a vested interest into the battlers themselves, and B, if they are excellent, if they are at the highest, they're celebrities already. How are you going to challenge that opinion? You know what I'm saying? You know, if Rock Ness Monster, is judging a battle, or you know what I'm saying, maybe an Iron Solomon, who, you know what I'm saying, and you know, we're entry level or novice battlers or what have you, how we going to challenge their judgments? If, you know what I'm saying, if they're already at an expert level.
And what's crazy is they could have just not cared and given bad judgments, and you still couldn't like. I'm not saying they did, but like they could have, and there's not much what you could have done for the exact same reasons. That's
Right.
like a wildly interesting dynamic to exist. And again, I'm not implying that they were bad judges. It was just more the idea.
Yeah, now those are more. It's this is a hypothetical standpoint, right? But
Yeah.
you know, we would often have, you know, celebrity judges come through, you know, and take part in the battle.
Peter Rosenberg from New York
Right.
City's Hot 97 radio station. We would maybe have Rock from Helter Skelter swing by an event and judge. Just like random rappers that were like on signed to a record label, had music on radio, but they were into the underground, and like they would come by and like be a judge, you know? Because like who's not gonna trust a rapper who already has a record deal? I do believe you do have more leeway to judge here, sir. So
Styles P pulled up one time, right? At 7:30? Was
Styles P came by from the Locks. All sorts of people have judged. Like I forget literally like the amount of like people and like I'm constantly like told by, because when like you're running an event, you don't pay, like I'm not paying attention to anybody in the crowd. I got to make this event happen. And like the door and like the crowd being quiet and like the battlers themselves are like where my mind is focused, because that's what's going to make the event run. So like I'm constantly told like, yo, you didn't know such and such this what's her name, the this woman, she's a rapper from Brooklyn. She was with Joel Ortiz and Nitty Scott MC. Like Sarah one time was like, yeah, Nitty Scott MC was like at a draft event. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know. I didn't know, you know? Persia. People just being Moni Love, yeah.
We definitely had, you know, we definitely had people come through and just try to help, you know, uplift the movement at the time.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Big facts. Lending their popularity to like what we were doing type shit.
So yeah, that's such a cool thing to be like, I guess just such a part of a seminal point of battle rap history. Honestly.
Yeah. I'm happy. I count my blessings. I'm happy I was there, but I've gotten lifelong friends out of this. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Family.
Yeah.
So on that note, at what point do you link up with Team Hami?
Daily. I mean, you know, we don't see each other. We don't know.
No, I mean, back in the day times, like how did you like link up with them?
Oh no, well,
that was pretty hilarious.
It was mostly, you know, centered around battle rap events, and it just didn't have to be our home league. You know what I'm saying? And the home league being either the draft league itself or Grind Time East Coast. You had a couple of other local leagues like We Go Hard, When Animals Attack, Panic Room, right? Those two out in Jersey.
King of King of
the Ring.
King of the Ring. King of the Ring in the Bronx.
Yep, Queen of the Ring, Trap House. There were a whole bunch of other local leagues. When YouTube popularity really took off, a lot of people who had friends who can rap, they decided to, organize on their own, and and try to showcase their talent. Those groups were looking at our leagues, your Grind Time East Coast and Draft League, as the leagues to get to. You know what I'm saying? So those would be, I don't want to call them stepping stones because it sounds harsh. Springboards. How about that? Right?
Yeah,
they would,
a wider audience.
Do their couple of battles, within their home league. And you know what I'm saying? For them to get familiar with MCing, or for to get familiar with how to maneuver in a crowd. You know what I'm saying? What lyrics are gonna work, what flows, what's gonna work. And then they would look to graduate to us, to our platform that we had. And if you were able to be successful on our platform, that opens up being able to maybe go to Canada and battle on King of the Dot, or go out west and battle on Fresh Coast or Florida, or you know what I mean? That's what it was.
Yeah. Also, like it was like New York was like, yo, like hopefully eventually I get to battle like Conceited or SoCon, or like hopefully I eventually get to battle like Hollow the Don, or like like that was like people's goals, because they were the top dogs, and you knew that if you battled one of them, like that's gonna be a highly viewed battle,
For sure.
That's dope. So I guess as you're progressing through it, you definitely get at least to go to Canada, because there's some King of the Dot stuff that happens.
Yeah.
So what's that? So like, I guess how does your battle career progress from like the beginning points?
For my first 4 battles, I went 4-0 in my first 4 battles. I had a little angle about me. People couldn't tell what I was because I'm from Staten Island. So Staten Island, there's a perception of it being predominantly Irish and Italian neighborhood. And here I am. I'm not trying to, I'm dropping M-bombs left and right. And I'm not trying to apologize for nothing. And I'm not trying to explain myself for it either. So there was a little bit of an edge. I had a very strong, dark sense of humor. So, there was some shock value to a lot of the lyrics that I used to, that I had at the time. So I would, go 4-0 my first 4 battles. And then, I would make my way out west to battle in, what was it? Oakland Riot. Oakland Riot. And I would just try to, battle their top gunner out there and try to capture some fans out of there, people who would never heard of me, because they were, very into just kind of, the surface level talent, and those be the most the most popular. Your Hollow the Dons, your Swave Sevens, your Conceited, your, you know what I mean? But I would just try to kind of like, make my bones, go out west and battle, their top talent. I would go to Canada and battle on one of the premier cards. What was it? World Domination 4. Yeah, I did bad that battle. I choked all 3 rounds. I would have beat him with the material I had. I just couldn't memorize it. But it was a learning, it was a learning moment for me. Don't try to prepare for too many battles at one time. I didn't have to take on 2 or 3 battles in a 3-month span. I could have just did one. I didn't know that battle rap was going to progress the way it did, and these opportunities would be plentiful. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to, like, be the hot hand, and while I got some momentum behind me, just try to capture as much opportunity as I can. And I went to Canada and I stunk it up, man. It was sad. Yo, shouts to King of the Dot, by the way, man. Shouts to King of the Dot.
I mean, I don't know. I think Notes was trash, but
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's the thing. We watched that
Like,
beforehand.
I'm like,
I
I,
did
I was
not.
like, when they gave the judgment to him, I was like, what? Even with the stumble, it's like, bruh, like, dude, like, was trash Nathaniel for 3 whole rounds, and then
Nah,
he brought his
I'm
boy
with him.
in, who was
And we were
wild
like,
more fire
what?
than him, and I'm like, what? Your boy is
And
wild
then he
better
like
than you,
closed
son.
it off. Now, the one thing I can say is it's mad Canadian to be like, and I gave, like I put my boy on. Like I could see how that would work in Canada, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. But still, watching it, I was like, honestly, your shit was nicer.
Yo, you notice how when his boy jumped in the battle, I backed him all the way up into the crowd while he was rapping. He's backing up slowly, and I'm just all in his shit, trying to make him forget. Because at the time, I'm frustrated that I you know what I'm saying, I had misplaced my bars.
Yeah,
And,
I seen. I was disappointed. I was like, why are you? But I could tell you were scatterbrained.
Yeah, it was a bad day at the office. What are you gonna do? And look, man,
Happens to all of us.
For sure. But
I always liken battle rap to one-on-one combat, like boxing and MMA, because of in the sense of like, there's nobody, like, it's not a team sport. Like, you can't, this isn't a basketball team. There's nobody you could depend on here. It's just you by yourself. And like, sometimes you get punched in the face and like you take a L. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, I liken it more to MMA than boxing, because like, I feel like in MMA, nobody gets out of MMA unscathed. Nobody gets out of MMA without a loss. Everybody takes a loss eventually, And I think that that's what battle rap is like. Like, there's no winning all the time. You have to eventually lose,
It's humbling when it does happen, though, right? You know what I'm saying? Because then you have a chance to just kind of get off, just kind of look at things from a bird's eye view and be like, all right, I could have done more of this and less of this, or I could have done this differently. And this is just, the means of polishing your craft, right?
Yeah.
So I could see how before you lose, you're not as inclined to go study everything you just did.
Yeah, I've watched it. I've watched it a couple of times, and I think my area of opportunity there was just making sure that I memorized my lines.
I honestly think that, like, honestly, from like watching it now, right, and not have watched it when it came out, like, I'm like, I just think that you should have stopped like talking out loud about like fucking up. Sometimes people don't notice when you fuck up. Like, it's you who notices you fucking up. And it
Agreed.
makes you, and you then say something about you fucking up, and it makes people be like, you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But like, most people would not even fucking notice the shit if like
I didn't
like
notice it. Because I was sitting there. So you also got to understand, I'm real annoyed with your opponent at that moment, because there's something about his
He's
like
so
slow,
trash.
But it's the way his like slow delivery was not. Because I mean, I don't know if he was trash or not. He just made me not want to pay attention. So then I didn't even, and then you do your thing, and I'm like, that's more enjoyable for me. And I'm not just saying that because of whatever. Like, I just felt that, like,
now you have that, your shit was better.
Me spit my, and I'm like, I mean, you could be, I don't care how late that is. The way he did it was not appealing to me.
Yeah, nah. He definitely sounded like he was riding a short bus at school. But like,
I was like, is he on pills? Like, that was my first thought. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe he might have been, but it's what I'm saying. It's just how it happens, man. I didn't even go in there with expectations of losing. You know what I'm saying? And as a battle rapper, you're just supposed to have that righteous confidence. You know what I'm saying? That you're gonna go in there and win the battle. But when if you drop the ball, you really just kind of try to reconsider your approach.
Yeah, and that's
It would be
important. I
wise.
mean, but then you battled again because
Oh yeah,
that's what.
yeah. After that, there was a league in Connecticut called CBL, which would then eventually, become iBattle.
Okay.
And me and a couple of, other my friends, and this is around the time where Grind Time, Grind Time Now was starting to, what you call it, dissolve, right? So a lot of us mainstay battlers on Grind Time we're an army without a country. So some of us are just trying to kind of get that last, get onto URL and get onto King of the Dot, which would then become the dominant two battle rap entities in North America. Then you had another one in the UK. What was it? Don't Flop. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So now without Grind Time there, you just have a whole bunch of battlers just scrambling to just try to find their place and still, remain prominent with their fans, right? But iBattle was just kind of it was grassroots then again. And they were just very interested on, pushing their local talent out of Connecticut. There was a lot of, there was a lot of, but they embraced a lot of us. New York
Connecticut
MCs,
always trying to come up off of New York. God damn it.
right?
I mean,
But CBL would then become iBattle. And a lot of us would continue to battle on that platform. And iBattle was fun, bro. Back when it was that was fun.
Yeah, they came a lot of like when Grind Time East Coast stopped throwing events, there were a lot of leagues that popped up trying to fill that hole, fill that gap, bridge that gap. There were a lot of just like leagues that popped up trying to like capitalize, and they did. Like they knew that there was a home needed for that brand, and like they gave a home to it.
Yeah, what else was out there? It's on the tip. It's at the tip of my brain, and I can't remember who it was. But whatever. Hopefully it comes back to me. But they people, yes, you know what I'm saying. Flacco's right. People did try to fill the void, but by then, the game had not. It grew out of wins and losses, and it became views. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It became view based. So if you wanted to get on the King of the Dot, or if you wanted to go on the URL, I guess there was an unspoken requirement. You had to, be able to contribute from your inception into those leagues. You had to be able to come with a fan base already attached to you.
So it's basically the same thing that happened to the music industry, where
Pretty
now
much.
you basically have to get your fan base up to get the label to even look your way for reals.
Pretty much. And then people started trying to create. So just like people started creating their own record labels, that's how battle rap cliques came into it. That's how your team homies became a team homie, and your dot mobs are dot mob. Right?
So this is just like effectively
of the record label or the distribution. You know what I mean? Death Row's in they're through Interscope. Or Bad Boy was through who? Uptown? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that. So that's how you get battle rap clicks.
Facts. That is kind of pretty much exactly how it works.
And
that's
yeah,
how I ended up on Team Homie Records.
I would continue on Team Homie Records, right? Can you imagine?
Yeah, so yeah, do you
Absolutely ran like modern death row. People getting beat up for dumb shit. What, son? You let him rob you? You get beat up.
Yeah. So, when do you start messing around with music and stuff? Then,
you know what? In the absence of having events, a lot of the artists in the team in Team Hami did, make music. And originally, when people got into battling, in this YouTube era, it would be for them to. It would just be a way for them to be able to showcase their talent, and if they got music dropping, you're gonna buy the music along with it. Everybody's trying to dispel that whole battle rappers can't make music thing. But if you're popular enough, you know what I'm saying, people will buy your music. If they like your battles, if they're your fan, they'll support you, right?
Yeah.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's no simpler than that.
Yeah, that's where I got a majority of my fans from.
Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And by the way, I still have your music. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's dope.
I still got Al Qaeda Vega.
Super Speak. Oh,
Yeah.
Al Qaeda Vega.
I have them. And it's, you know what I'm saying, it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? That's your man's, that's your brother, that's, you know what I'm saying? And I happen to be a fan of Dutch Vega. I'm buying his product. I want to support my team. I got into music, and it's PH, and it's Swave, and it's Sarah Connor, it's Dutch Vega, it's everybody. Yo, man, you're doing really good with this, bro. Like, yo, how would you sound? Right at 16. Before battle rap events, you'd be going to radio stations.
Yeah.
And
we always give the guys the opportunity to like,
you know what I mean?
Rap, and like, yo, what? Like, if you need an outlet, like, I know studios, I know producers, like, always trying to help out.
It's an ecosystem, man. You know what I'm saying? We all got connections somehow to something, whether it be a studio or whether it be to music. The music itself, production, and coaching each other up. You know what I'm saying? Like we're really bought into each other at this time. So, by way of, yo, you can do this, or the other thing, stop being a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Get in there and rap. Say some shit, bro. You got stop being whack.
Because we go to the radio station and it'll be like classic what you think of when you hear about like rappers going up to a radio station. Like, yo, so rap on the mic. And like, we're gonna put on some beats and shit. And you better rap some shit, like, and we'd have guys that would be like, yo, he roasted, he fired, like he murdered shit. You know what I mean? So like, you didn't want to be the guy that didn't murder shit. Like, what? Who wants to be that guy? Nobody.
Nobody wants to be the not murdering shit guy.
I'd be bashful. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, but my team would be, on me like, yo, did you write that yet? Did you write this yet? We got a session booked for this date. Have your shit ready. And, I would show up, and, and that's, oh shit, this works for that. Yo, this shit's fire. And that's how I started, doing music. I don't have a catalog of music. You know what I'm saying? I probably got 6 or 7 songs featured on Team Hami tracks. You know what I'm saying? So I never made an album. I just never had, the time to, to invest to it, still me, just trying to provide for a family, and, how, time takes, time is valuable, and, I'm moving up in my professional career, and I couldn't do that, but I would have 16 or I would have 24 for the next session, and I would find myself onto Team Hami songs.
That's dope stills. Like, That's a pretty
Nah.
It's a pretty solid group of rappers to be rapping with, and they have made it abundantly fucking clear to me as I've talked to Team Hami members. It's not exactly simple to be a Team Hami.
No.
Like they're not. It's not like I could just go be a Team Hami. It's not. It's not
No.
how it works.
I mean, yeah, but no.
I don't even hate shit enough, is what I understand. There's requirements to this shit that I don't fully understand.
I mean,
No, Sarah probably will argue against it, but yeah, I guess then that means that
there's a certain type of energy that, you know what I'm saying, that you got to bring with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, a confident energy. And also, you know, it would be helpful to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to contribute to, you know what I'm saying, or contribute to us, whether it be, you know, your time, your attendance, somebody just, you know what I'm saying, to talk to, show up when the shit's about to jump off and you gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? There's money. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and these are not the things that make you, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, somebody got $1 million, you know what I'm saying, to spend. They're not going to be Team Hami because they got $1 million. You know, it's character based. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think that's fucking cool though. Like, it's like, cause like I'm fascinated by the idea of collectives achieving things, and it's really like a functional collective derived around this common desire to be around each other. And it just so happens that a lot of y'all make music, but not everyone. And it just so happens that, you know, like, and that's what gets really cool about Team Hami, is how it's really like, it's almost like a fraternity of sorts. But
yeah, it's a brotherhood, more or less.
And it's like
more than less. It's a brotherhood, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all those things, right? Like, it's all those like descriptive words like that describe exactly these functions, you know, camaraderie, squad, a team, right? Because team is built into the name.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like it's all those things.
And
it's cool.
To this day, and we will support each other to this day, man. The things, you know, I think our, you know, and not to make it a somber moment, but I think our losses drew us closer than we would be.
Yeah.
You know, peace to all the bros, you know what I'm saying? All the Team
Rest in peace, J Arch, rest in peace, PH, rest in peace, Sean Price, rest in peace, Rob De Niro.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I think though, you know, that, you know, 2015 was a tough year for us. You know what I'm saying? When we sustained the loss of, you know, these brothers, man, and, you know, these guys, solid, you know what I'm saying? Solid brothers, man, you know, contributors, supporters, no matter how popular, or, you know, if you're not even charting, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The brothers had your back, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and we've fought hard to maintain that, man. You know, throughout the modern battle rap, you got crews who form and they dissolve quickly. We're not that.
Battle rap drama.
And
yeah, people, like that's why they always dissolve. It's over battle rap drama. It's like, what the fuck? Are you guys a fucking glee club? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you better fight and get over that shit, you know?
Yeah. You know, and I think the community relies on, you know what I'm saying, that. You know what I'm saying? The stability that we have amongst us, you know, the battle rap community relies on that. You know, if you are a battle rap fan and you know who Team Hami is, or you will soon become familiar with him.
That's true. There's lots of Team Hami bars and a lot of Poison Pen. There's just a lot of Poison Pen out there.
Yo, listen, man, for the course of, I want to say 7-8 years, any major battle rap event in North America had a Team Hami member in it, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
big facts.
It ain't right to say it for none of us involved, man.
Yeah, somebody somewhere was Team Hami. That was in the building for a fact.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So like, because the last battle I saw on the Verse Tracker thing is like 2013 or no 15. So Are you battling still? Like, what is the state of the battle life of Peace God at this point?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I had mentioned before, Scream is no longer my battle rap name,
Right, that makes sense.
So, I'm trying to mature my flow. I'm an older guy now, and I'm just trying to, have everything that matches it. As I step back out into into battle rap. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to not so much create a new identity because I'm still gonna be who I am. I'm still Team Hami, always gonna be. But I'm just trying to move. I'm just trying to move up with the times. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I'll be able to. I've had enough time away to where I can just capture some opportunity that I missed out on. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of allies and who are set up in battle rap to help me gain these opportunities, man. I do want to take advantage of it, and I do want to contribute back to the culture. You got a lot of guys who are coming back off the bench. Your Madnesses, your Johnny Storm. Shouts to Johnny Storm. Shouts to Madness. A bunch of us you haven't seen in a while. Who want to get back in the ring and show that we still got this.
You know what I'm saying? We're like fighters. We're like fighters. We love to. It's like, nah, that don't really go away. You're always like, yo, I'll body you, B. Like, fuck out of here, son. Like, what? Don't make me get angry. Like, I'll start writing about you.
Yeah, facts. So yeah, I'm hopeful that I'm able to just capitalize on these opportunities that are out there, man.
That's amazing. And do you have any plans in the future of creating your own music project given you get the time?
I want us to finish the existing Team Hobby project we have, man. We're probably sitting on like 30 songs that are not released yet. So I want to get that out first before and see how it does, and then us as a team decide what we want to do next as far as music. A lot of our members are doing their individual projects in absence of us putting out a team project. So you got Moneybags who's out there, Swave 7 who's out there, and Mac Myron. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow him on Instagram, MackMyron. I gotta say that. You know what I mean?
Mac Myron is so nice, bro.
Yeah, so everybody's out there, still trying to, they're still making their mark with their individual projects, and then we're gonna reconvene at some point in the very near future, and put out a project or just polish the project that we do have waiting,
Yeah, it's incredible how much you like put the team first.
For sure. Yeah. The greater good, man. The greater good.
No, Peace God's a team player.
He's always been incredible. I don't mean it like from like it's almost like you don't encounter that energy as much as you would like to encounter that energy. And it's like,
we were honestly, literally just talking about it off camera before we got
I was swear as I was like listening to you, because yesterday I was a little pettier than I wanted to be on camera. It wasn't my best moment. And so I'm listening to Peace God today, and I'm like, say word, this dude's like inspiring me to like think about the perspectives a little bit differently, and like, maybe I can reapproach it. I'm like, okay, say a word, right? And that energy's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, facts.
Thank you, man. Ever since, as far as I remember, man, I try to always add value to my friendships and my relationships, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think I get joy out of that more than anything. You know what I'm saying? I want to entertain my friends. You know what I'm saying? I want to support my team. I want to uplift my team. I want to meet everybody at the level they at and bring them up. And I want somebody to do that for me. Somebody did. You know what I'm saying? Right. Somebody did. So I want to be able now. I'm the older guy. you know, amongst my peers or in the battle rap community. I want to, you know, meet people at whatever level they're at and elevate them. That's what I'm about.
Yep.
That's incredible. Stills. Like that's what people say doesn't exist. So to have you be like that on camera is kind of the opposite of it not existing. You know what I mean?
It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's necessary.
Big
That's
facts.
super dope. Do you have like other endeavors outside of battle rap? Like,
Nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm the king of my castle here. You know what I mean? At work, I'm, you know, again, I'm still doing well in my professional career. I have a great family. You know what I'm saying? You know, shouts to my, you know, my oldest son is gonna be 27 tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I got a 20-year-old son also. Got a 10-year-old daughter. Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, I think I'm getting the most I can out of life thus far. You know what I'm saying? And you know that I'm seated in this position and you know, and I'm comfortable. I think now I can loan myself back to doing what I enjoy, which is, you know, battling.
Destroying somebody on camera.
Yeah.
It's like that's what we're really into. You know, I'm kind of really into getting on camera and destroying a whole entire grown-ass man's character on camera. You know, and making people laugh and shit. I enjoy that.
I've said some shit over because I ain't gonna lie.
that's amazing. Man, I'm excited to see what you do with that. I want to see like a Peace God battle, and then it's maybe less peaceful.
I did two Clubhouse two battles on Clubhouse. One with a gentleman named Scissors. You know what I'm saying? Excellent work, man. Yo, I can't lie. What I learned from that battle was, yo, Peace God is easy to flip. You can name flip the shit out of Peace God.
Yeah.
But that was an excellent, you know what I'm saying? It was an excellent, you know, battle.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm still on the Android life, right? So by the time
no,
Clubhouse,
you go on the Clubhouse.
I know, but by the time it like drops, it was like wasn't cool no more. Flacko was like, Clubhouse ain't it no more. And I'm like, I didn't download it at that point. I'm like, what am I gonna do on Clubhouse? I don't even know where to go with it. But I don't even know what's happening on Clubhouse. You're the first person to mention it.
Yeah, no,
honestly.
you should get on Clubhouse now, because it's still like a useful tool. You know what I mean? Like, my fault. I might have steered you in the wrong direction. You know what I mean?
No, but it's not just you. I don't know anybody using Clubhouse.
You do though, because now you've talked with Peace God and you talk with Quest McCody.
Right.
And Quest McCody is heavy on like and that group, like it's good for us to both be in there, you know? And I'm barely in there right now. Now I'm caught up, so
okay,
it's a good look.
You gotta understand, at this point, Clubhouse ain't mainstream enough for it to just be like an understood concept of like, okay, so I get that it's phone call podcast shit, like an interactive, it's this on a phone with no video ish in rooms. So like y'all have your own rooms and then you do battles in these rooms now, like events and shit is popping off.
Right. I think it's a good way to just, you know what I'm saying, polish up, like, you know, you're in a room with a whole bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? You do get to perform, you get to capture, you know what I'm saying, the fan base that's in the room. And also you get the chance to interact with, you know what I'm saying, with the people and, you know, kind of see what they're vibing with. You're able to gauge where you are and what you could work on or what you're doing really well. That's going to work. So when you're ready to step out in front of the camera, you know what I'm saying, and battle live, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll already have, you know, a baseline on, you know, where you're at. You know, you don't have the camera in front of you, so the performing it and your mannerisms and all of that, you don't have to focus on that on the Clubhouse application. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of get to focus on the bars and the delivery and the content. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that
makes sense.
You know, I think that's a good introductory tool for aspiring battle rappers or anybody who's ever thought about competing.
True.
True fact. It's also probably just useful for a lot of other things too.
For sure.
I haven't thought about Clubhouse in months, so I'm really glad you brought that up.
I'll say this, the atmosphere has changed. I don't know how far back that you.
Bro, I have an Android, right? So I wasn't allowed on Clubhouse. I got that invite code back in December, and I wasn't allowed in the club in that house. And then by the time it drops on Android, I'm like, well, nobody I know uses Clubhouse, so what's the point? Is this just
that's when I had already like gotten over it for the most part.
But it wasn't just him. It was everybody else I knew was like over it.
And then I recently went back, and I was just like, I was pleasantly surprised that like there's still, some people, rocking in the free world.
Yeah. So probably about a week and a half ago, I battled young Gaddis. You know what I'm saying? Who is arguably one of the best, female battle rappers on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Long history, excellent resume, fantastic person. Shouts to young Gaddis, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And we battled. You know what I mean? She's definitely still got it. I definitely took everybody on a ride. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, she just finished battling too in the KOTD tournament, and she definitely was killing it. So like, yeah, Gaddis doesn't ever lose her touch. She definitely is like top 5 women in battle rap.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? And and I'm happy to just have earn the faith and respect. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to battle everybody I've battled along with young Gaddis and this is giving me confidence to get back in the ring. So I'm working with iBattle right now, trying to set up a match that should be in October sometime. I can't announce the opponent yet, but you will be seeing Peace God back in the ring, or Peace God for the first time in the ring.
But
that's super amazing. I'm really happy to hear that. Like, this is like we get the story. Plus, you do like put the family first thing and do the job thing, get your money up, all the thing. You did all the things, like all the things a person's supposed to do. And then you're like, now that I've done the things, I get to go do the other things that are cool and going back into it all. It's almost like a template for a way to live life that's actually fresh.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what's up.
It's true, though. Like, it's super cool.
Absolutely true.
Like, I mean, that's just what I surmised in the last hour and 50 or so minutes. Which is like, I don't know. You're really like inspiring.
Yeah, he's a
fellow.
great guy. He's a great guy. Peace God is like, this a brother to me. He's always been, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Solid as fuck. Family, always puts the team in front of himself. It's not like he's a selfish guy. Like, great man. I know for a fact his wife is very happy. They have a happy marriage. So great husband, right? Like, his kids are good motherfucking young men. You know what I'm saying? So like, good father. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bro Peace God is a good man. You know what I mean? And those are rare in this day and age. So
that's amazing.
Props to you for life, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and also use the opportunity to say, you know what I mean? Like yo, props to you forever. I'll always love you. You know, you're always my brother. You know, no matter how much we argue about whatever, I'm always gonna fucking love you. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel bad. You know goddamn well that as close as you got to PH, I know how many times you must have heard him being like, fucking Dutch.
Nah.
We used to argue all the time. You know what I mean?
We all did.
But that's what we do. We're brothers, bro. Like,
we
I'm
all
not gonna
did.
fucking, yeah. So like,
I'm just arguing.
Yeah, but like, I love you for life. You know what I mean? Like, and like, know that like you got a brother in me. Anytime you need anything, you know, like, anytime that you hit the town, you know what I'm saying? Let me know.
Facts. I absolutely will. And listen, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, congratulations on, you know what I'm saying, on this platform. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for everything that you are and everything that you've been, bro. Like you like one of the first, like outside of, you know what I'm saying, my wife and PH, like you're like one of the first people I actually, you know what I'm saying, met and you know what I'm saying, created a rapport that went into a friendship. A lot of people would, pull up along the way and, I get great relationships with them too. But I can truly say that you are the first battle that I saw live and one of the first persons that I, you know what I'm saying, meshed with and we vibed instantly, bro. Facts. Always been like that, bro.
Facts. Fly niggas always vibe, you know what I mean? Oh, it's always like, yo, look at this other fly nigga over here being fly and shit. Let's talk. We get along with flyness. Yeah. Word. So we are gonna cut it here. Holden, do the dues, tell the people.
Yeah, no, it was great to have you here. Honestly, I appreciated listening to your story. Thank you for coming through for Real Reels. Thank you, End of the Week, for hosting this stuff. You can follow them at eodub.com and /EOWTV on all the platforms. It's been super great. Thank y'all for watching. Those of you still with us on the live on the various places, y'all are wonderful with the interactions and the good stuff. And those of you watching in the future, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff down below and whatnot. Links in description for all the good stuffs. On that note, everybody, I guess it's getting great having you here. Peace, God. Live long and prosper, everybody.
Yo,
blessings, bro.
Shouts to EO Dub, man. Thank you for, man.
I
miss EO Dub, man. I miss Pyramid. I love it, man. EO Dub forever. You heard? Peace, God. Team Homie, Staten Island. We out.
Yeah, yo. We're off there.
Off on this side. Under
Danny, let her know.
I got it.
Yeah, go.